Hi everyone, welcome to Fast Homebrew. Today I'm going to talk about really simple temperature control for people who perhaps don't have a second fridge, or who are maybe like me and are too cheap to buy another fridge, or too cheap to even hire a trailer to go and get a free fridge off of one of your relatives who doesn't need their fridge anymore. So, for years there, I was using this box. The thing about it is that it's a confined space and it's easier to control, like the temperature is more stable in a confined space. So if you can hide it away in a box like this, or now I use the wardrobes, then it's easier to control it once you get it to the right temperature to begin with. I guess another thing about it would be that if you could insulate your space, then that would only help the situation. The next thing to think about is the thermometer you're using. These stick-on ones are pretty common to begin with, but they're not that accurate. They give a vague idea of the temperature, but the colours are confusing. So why not build your own thermometer? You can get what I've got, which is an STC 1000 or similar things off of the internet that have plugs and stuff to turn things on and off. You wire it yourself, or you get a professional to do it, as I would recommend, because we're dealing with a lot of electricity here and you don't want to burn your house down. Burning your house down is bad. What you do with this though is you take the probe and put it behind some foam attached to the side of the fermenter, and that will get a good accurate reading. So the temperature's too low and you want to heat it. What do you do? Well, it turns out that a lamp is actually pretty good at bringing up the temperature. You just need to put a powerful enough globe in it, but we know that light is bad for beer. So the best thing to do is to put a terracotta pot, or if you're like me and you don't have one, a terracotta Easter Island head over the globe. That absorbs the heat and radiates it back out without letting too much light into the beer. They cost a bit to run though. They're a bit heavy on the juice. So a cheaper option that you can get pretty cheap is a heat belt like this. Again, I would say make sure you get one that's not going to burn the house down. But these attach to the fermenter, they just go around it. And I'll plug mine into my temperature controller, set it to only come on at certain temperatures, and hey presto, away she goes. Heating stuff's up easy though. What about cooling it down? Well, I guess a fridge is again the best option, but we're cheap. We're just going to use evaporation. And to do that, you sit your fermenter in a little tray like this and dress it in a t-shirt and fill the tray with water. The water comes up through the t-shirt and evaporates and cools the beer down. You can sort of make it a bit more powerful by putting a big block of ice on the top that will also melt. I found that works really well actually. Except you have to remember if you're doing that the water is actually going to accumulate at the bottom, so you should try and protect the tap. I float a little container like this up underneath it, and maybe you have to bail it out every so often. You can also turbocharge it even further by turning a fan on it from time to time if you want. Now, a plain t-shirt like this is pretty good for most styles of beer. However, if you want to brew a heavier style, you might need a t-shirt like this. And if you're making a more alternative style beer, then a t-shirt like this will work just fine. That's about it though. Those are my tips. I've been using those methods for a while now and they work pretty well for me. I'm sure to get a fridge one day, but if you don't have one, then give them a try. Remember to be sensible about it. I brew lagers in winter and I brew ales in the warmer months, and I also make sure that I look at the weather forecast so that I'm not going to get a heat wave in the next week. But other than that, you can maintain the temperature, maybe looking at it once or twice a day, pretty well using this. So thanks for watching, please subscribe, and I hope you found something in there to use. Yay! Homebrew, yay, homebrew, woo!